Drone Safety Day this year falls on April 27. My name is Sarah Nilsson. I'm a pilot, flight instructor, lawyer, law professor, and Fast Team Drone Pro.
Welcome, and my name is Bill Lang, and I'm her partner, and I don't fly drones, but I hear everything about them because of her. Now you have received a new drone as a gift, or you bought one yourself, and you're fixing to get in this new hobby. Well, if you're like most people, I know you haven't the vaguest idea of how this adventure should begin. Sarah and I created this video to help you get rolling or flying safely. All documents are hyperlinked in the description below this video.
Many people assume that a recreational or hobby flight simply means not flying for a business or being compensated. Compensation or the lack of it is not what determines if a flight was recreational or not. Recreational or hobby flying is that done purely for fun or personal enjoyment. The default regulation for drones weighing under 55 pounds is Part 107, which regulates almost all non-recreational drone flying. Congress created the exception for limited recreational operations of unmanned aircraft, U.S. Code 44809, to allow those flying drones purely for fun or personal enjoyment to operate without complying with Part 107.
If you're flying drones as a hobby, there are 9 basic rules that you need to follow. So let's get started with rule number 1. You can only fly for personal enjoyment.
Rule number 2. You must follow safety guidelines of an FAA-recognized community-based organization. What's that, you say? At the time Bill and I recorded this video, February 2024, the FAA recognized these 4 entities. I'm going to pick on the first one, AMA, Academy of Model Aeronautics. This is their safety handbook. It's well worth the read. The FAA also published this advisory circular, AC 9157 Charlie, to provide more guidance to those of you new to this hobby. Also worth the read.
So here's rule number 3. Keep your drone within the visual line of sight or use a visual observer who is co-located physically next to and in direct communication with you. And here's rule number 4. Give way to and do not interfere with other aircraft.
Rule number 5. Fly at or below FAA authorized altitudes in controlled airspace. Say what? Airspace? Well, as a drone pilot, you're a pilot, and pilots should be familiar with the airspace they're flying in. So this nifty chart should be kept handy so that you can understand the airspace. And Lance provides apps for your phone or tablets that helps you with airspace awareness. What's Lance, you say? It's low altitude authorization and notification capability. It's a collaboration between the FAA and industry, providing drone pilots with access to controlled airspace and creating an awareness of where drone pilots can and cannot fly. Lance automates the airspace approval process via these apps. The FAA's Before You Fly services utilizes these 4 companies you see on the screen. They're available in iOS, Android, and desktop versions.
I'm back with rule number 6. As a recreational drone pilot, you can fly at or below 400 feet in Class G uncontrolled airspace, but it's your job to know where you can fly. On the FAA's website, it outlines airspace restrictions, FRIAS, and no drone zones to help you know where it's safe to fly.
I must tell you about this thing called Remote ID. Essentially, your drone must broadcast identification and location information while in flight, so that the FAA, law enforcement, and other federal agencies can locate you and your drone if you fly in an unsafe manner or in airspace you shouldn't be in. Your drone must either come equipped with remote ID capability straight from the manufacturer, or else be retrofitted with a broadcast module, or you could fly without remote ID within a FRIA, which is an FAA-recognized identification area.
This brings us to rule number 7. You have to take a test, and it's called TRUST, the Recreational UAS Safety Test. And you have to carry proof of having passed that test with you whenever you go flying your drone. The good news is the test is free, and it's online. And the beauty of it is you can take it as many times as you need to until you pass it. There are a number of approved test administrators. Here are your easy 1, 2, 3 instructions on getting your TRUST done.
Here's rule number 8. Before your first flight with your new drone, you must register with the FAA online on FAA Drone Zone and include your remote ID information. Then mark the registration number on the outside of your drone and carry proof of registration with your TRUST documents that Bill just described. This is the FAA Drone Zone portal. Start by creating an account. First off, check the FAA Declaration of Compliance website that you see on this screen to ensure your drone and/or remote ID module has been accepted by the FAA. Then have that information available together with the drone's make, model, and serial number, your email, phone number, and a credit card handy, and then registration online will go smoothly. It's only $5 and is valid for 3 years. You must be 13 years or older, otherwise you need a parent or guardian to do it for you. And you must be a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident. You don't need to register your drone if it weighs 0.55 pounds or less. That's less than 250 grams. And you're flying strictly for recreational purposes.
Bet you didn't think we'd get there, but we're finally on rule number 9. Do not operate your drone in a manner that endangers the safety of the National Airspace System.
We hope you've enjoyed this quick overview of recreational drone rules and learned something today.
And Sarah and I thank you for putting up with us on this short video. Enjoy your flight.